co-handler. The only person, if the source agrees, whom I was going to hand over to be the handler, if he agrees, their sources are different. Some, they want to give you information and stay away. Some, they want to give you information and be registered and work with you and be paid. Some, they will call anonymous 10111 and then they will forward it to you because they know you, that you act when they give you this kind of thing. So a source, even only the commander will know because he inspects the file quarterly, but also himself. He does not need to know the source because you are endangering people's life. Is these people, they take their life in order to assist you in dealing with criminals. So it's not something which you just share and say, hey boss, this is my source. Hey, I found it. You won't have a source anymore. Then you will have a dead source.
General, can I just ask to understand? You understand your evidence, or I think I heard you to say that crime intelligence was supposed to conduct a risk assessment.
Yes.
Right. Would you have disclosed the particulars of the source to crime intelligence or whoever is doing the risk assessment? I think that's what Ms. Sigal is trying to establish with you.
It's yes and no. It depends on the source. You can ask General Kalakala, you can ask Brigadier Ntuli, you can ask Colonel Herbert at Crime Intelligence Joburg. There is many, Lieutenant Colonel Khwadi, there is many times where I handed over the sources because the sources wanted to work with those people. They didn't have a problem. So there are those who will say no. So that is why I'm saying yes or no. But if they approach me, I talk to the person to say, here's the people who I need to work with them going forward. Or he decides to say, no, I gave you everything what you want. I don't want to be involved. And then we leave him like that. But if he is willing to work with them, then I will. And also, I asked you, can we meet? Maybe I register. No, he said, no, I'm fine. I'm giving you information. What I managed to do is to take down the number which he gave me and the name. So that is what I have done. But if they came to me, we could have talked about that and whatsoever. Sometimes I phone them direct. I even ask the members to say, who is the IO you are working with? They told me it's Colonel Herbert. I even told them, Colonel Herbert, I work a lot with him. So go and relay the information to him. I was expecting even him to phone me and say, I got this information because it's urgent, you need to work on it. But they don't write there. That I even told them, asked them who is the person under CI working with them. But I was happy that I told the commander, and the commander is doing something in terms of applying for a threat risk assessment, and they know. And they promise the protection is going to be given, and it was given previous. That is what was important for me.
Thank you, General.
At this point, let's adjourn and resume at 2 p.m.
switch off your cell phones. Thank you.
Chair, Commissioners, there was an issue that arose earlier this morning as regards the General's credit card statements of September 2024. We have provided a copy of the statement to General and his legal representatives. General, can you confirm that you have the statement in front of you?
That's correct.
General, you'll recall in your interaction with the chair, you mentioned that if regard is had to your credit card statement of September, there would be a transaction of 17,000 for the purchase.
I think the general said 14.
14,000
Yes.
for the purchase of beverages. So can you confirm that this is the account in question you were referring to? You said the
that's
credit
correct.
card linked to your ABSA account.
That is correct.
And General, if you look at those transactions, so it's just the second page of it, you'll note there that there isn't a transaction like the one that you described. Can you see that?
Yes.
And do you have an explanation?
Yes.
Please proceed.
Yeah, after receipt of the slip, I phoned home to establish if ever I used my wife or did I use, and then I end up phoning my brother-in-law who was accompanying me when we went to Zanini to Metro to buy. I said Metro, but he corrected me to Ultra Liquor. And he indicated, no, we didn't use a card, we used the cash, which was contribution from my brothers and everybody who was there to go and buy the cold drinks and beers of that value. So again, I apologize to have indicated that I used my credit card because I solely believed that I used one of my cards.
That's a third version on the same point. You started by saying you used your ABSA check account, you needed money for the Thanksgiving. When it was pointed out to you that the check account statement does not show that transaction, you then said, oh no, it's in the linked credit card. And the commission went through the effort of obtaining your credit card statement. Now you are confronted with that statement, you're changing your version again. You're now saying it was cash contributions from members of the family. But it goes back to the same point. You did not need the money in your check account for the Thanksgiving. So that money was all available to you to be used to repair the vehicle, because that's where Chair started this morning. Want to comment?
No, no comment.
Thank you. General, we can go back to our topic. I want to just ask you again, insofar as the source is concerned, that whose information you relayed to the investigators. Now, you say you didn't disclose the identity of the source to anyone, and even till today you haven't done so. What did you do about the information that the source gave you? Not the issue about the safety of the officers, but about the information related to attempting to influence the investigation itself. What did you do with that information that the source gave you?
Number one, I informed the commander. Number two, I informed the investigating officers concerned. And 3, I requested that the commander conduct the TRA and provide security to the members. And that inquiry should be opened to investigate the veracity of the information in conjunction with the security assessment by CI.
Sir General, what inquiry are you referring to? You say that inquiry must be conducted. What inquiry?
As I've indicated earlier, when the commander write a letter to the head requesting threat risk assessment to verify the information and to assess the severity of the risk, there will be a file registered which will be allocated investigators who will be working with those from CI.
Okay.
And furthermore, it will indicate if ever there is security needed for the members and security be provided.
Yes, I'm speaking about other than the security. You keep coming back to the security. I'm talking about the integrity of the investigation itself. You've just informed the investigators that your sources told you that this is a contract killing, that there is a hit orderer behind the scene, but you don't disclose the identity of the source to anyone. So I'm trying to find out what you did with the information that you had, since you're in the unique position that only you know the identity of the source, to assist with the investigation.
The source gave information to assist the investigation. That is where I said the veracity of the information was supposed to be done through threat risk assessment to confirm whatever was said, is it true or not? Or the names mentioned, they are followed, they see if ever they meet with somebody, or they are doing what as the source informed me. So that is what entails the risk assessment, is the whole lot of investigation which is done surrounding them. Also following the investigators to check the integrity of the investigation. The investigation, there is a commander checking the dockets now and then to see if ever something doesn't come out or whatsoever. What I have done on my side in front of the members is to contact the section head of ballistic, Brigadier Mkawela, and indicate to him that there is this case which needs to be prioritized. And we need it to be prioritized in terms of getting ballistic report and linkages in terms of IBs before the next court date. And I also gave him the number of the investigating officer. I indicated that the commander is Khopane, and previously when we were dealing with gang violence, I did make them meet because there was a need of dealing with those things. So that is what I have done. So other than that, I'm not operational. In all provinces, when this happens, I make the province to do what is necessary. Mine is to follow up.
Okay, and so yours is to follow up. So did you follow up?
As indicated, I followed up in, I think it was the 22nd of May, where I called the brigadier, where she indicated, in the morning, indicated that she is with Brigadier Ntuli from Crime Intelligence, who is responsible for not cyber, counter. And then he's assisting with the drafting of the request. And furthermore, once when I met with some of the investigators, they indicated they were fine. And so to say, again, furthermore, in the following months, August, September was also going in and out, Eastern Cape, attending to certain matters which I was deployed on, including KZN. When I learned it was there in the safe house, meaning everything was done accordingly, as I would like to happen. So there's nothing further I've done, and the cases were going court, and further people get arrested and so forth.
Okay, so again, you're going to the security. When the source told you that it was a contract killing, did they identify the hit orderer to you?
Who?
The source. When the source told you that it's a contract killing, did they identify the hit orderer to you?
They told me suspects are contract killers.
Yes.
He didn't tell me who contracted them.
Did you ask?
Yes, I asked to say who contracted them. I said, if you follow up these other people, then you will find out. So I don't know if he was afraid to say out to me to say, yes, this person contracted this and so forth.
But he told you that these, did he tell you that the weapons or the hitmen were connected to other cases?
Yeah, I indicated the weapons will link with other cases.
Okay.
Other murder cases.
Okay.
So hence I indicated that, meaning you will receive more cases from this thing.
Can I ask you to go to page 54 of your statement, which is, and I want to ask you about paragraph 172 in your statement, file 1. Are you there?
Yes.
At paragraph 172, you deal with some of the information that the source had given you, and you conclude that paragraph by saying, and that there was concern that someone within forensic services could potentially interfere with ballistics evidence. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, witness B in that meeting asks you to assist with fast-tracking the ballistics on the Swart murder, correct?
Yes.
You have information that there's potentially somebody within forensic services that may compromise the investigation. That's what you're being told by your source, that may compromise the ballistic evidence.
Yes.
You call the section, did you say the section head
Yes.
for forensic services?
No, for ballistics.
Ballistics.
Yes.
And you ask him to fast-track the ballistics on this matter.
To prioritize and
Yeah.
allocate to someone special.
At that point, do you say to him, there's a potential that someone within your division or your section may be compromised?
To tell him?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Why not?
As I said, it was still information to be verified. And I cannot alert the people who is doing that. And I even told, I think it's witness B, said, but General, if you know they're gonna do this, is there anything to do? I said, look, ballistic is got too much people, and they've got thousands of cases. In order for somebody to compromise this, meaning there must be somebody, because there is case manager who is allocating. You don't allocate the case for yourself, and it's different stations, different provinces. So the only thing to confirm and see is when we receive the report, and then we will follow up based on that with them. I said it is simple. I don't think somebody who is graduated with BSc doing that, the only thing what he can do in compromising the information is go to write the information wrong. It can go deeper from that. Exhibit when it's received, it is filed, right? By somebody in a 13, and it is locked. The investigator is allocated, meaning there will be the person who's having the key storage and the person who's going to do the investigation to go and open. So the only worst scenario I was thinking, I'm not saying it ever happened, but I was thinking, is somebody, I was thinking loud, I was saying, if it's somebody who can maybe have another rifle and exchange the mechanism so that it cannot match. But if you go and change the numbers, it is easy for us to detect because we're gonna take it to another forensic, maybe Western Cape or whatever, then they can be easily founded. But you needed something to verify, to see if ever there is manipulation, and then you can continue doing that. It's an ongoing investigation. It is like how they were saying, I know a name of a warrant given to me to say Zungu. I didn't know which Zungu. I knew that Zungu they say is from Tom's. So must I go to and arrange Zungu to come here and explain? You don't do that with suspect. So that file which is opened by crime intelligence is part of the investigating of the whole. And then hence I said there must be a team. And they know it's not the first time we do this. And that is why when they said the Herbert, I said the Herbert knows better. I have done many a case with him when I was still in Gauteng, even when I was still in the head office, where we were called to assist. So I couldn't tell him. It's like telling your suspect. You don't know who is the suspect, but you need to tell him to say prioritize. Then he promised to prioritize. Prioritize by meaning he will give to assign a specific person to deal with it, so that he get the result instantaneously as we have requested. So I think that is where I ended.
You do know that there was an issue with the ballistics in the Swart murder, that there was errors on the report that was prepared.
Exactly.
Okay, so it comes back to my question. You are in possession of information which really everybody only finds out much later. It is actually very scary how everything that you tell the investigators in May of 2024 comes to fruition later on in the year. Because we know that there's an error on the ballistics report. We find out that it is a contract killing. We find out that there is connections, all these connections with the firearms to different murders. You knew that in May of 2024. So it seems to me that somebody who's the component head of organized crime, who on his own version would engage in, disruptive operations, wouldn't see the need here to intervene at that level, to say we are dealing with something here where I have been informed that this is a dangerous situation. You were in a similar situation yourself when you did an investigation. You also know that the investigators are under threat. I understand you take the steps to ensure or make suggestions that they be placed into safety. But isn't your obligation also to the integrity of the investigation itself?
Yeah, we work on a command chain. And as I said, sometimes I'm somewhere, I cannot be all over. If I tell the commander to say this is the danger, and then this need investigation, crime intelligence must follow on this. And it is how all these big fishes you see arrested, it is happening. It's not the general who's coming out there running around. It's the general advising, giving them the necessary tool, giving them the necessary information. I informed them that there is this information which needed to be verified. Did they verify with CI and everybody? And then they formed such a team. And I was so happy to say that team is there. Now they can work as an old machine and do what's supposed to be done. But I was not responsible for going and checking those dockets and so forth. And you will know, If you phone, ask about things, they will refer you to a general who doesn't want to talk with some other people. And when you phone such generals, sometimes they don't answer their phone. But not trying to make me feel better. I have done what I was supposed to have done. And I was not the investigating officer. And I informed them what might happen and then what must be followed up. So now if everybody wants to say, okay, Shibiri knew this, he told us, unless if they said he didn't tell us this might happen, there is this information. Did somebody come here and say, I verified the information, I did this after verifying, and I looked at this, and then this is what we have find out and dealt with somebody like this. So up to so far, the arrests were made through the ballistic. But those who were mentioned to be involved in what and what and what, people chose to do what they wanted to do, not involve other people. Because some of us became suspect of being privileged of having information to provide to them. So as far as I'm concerned, commissioners, I done my part, it ends there. I didn't do anything further, and I ended there. People were supposed to gather information based on the information I gave, and if ever there is further need, I was supposed to be consulted. And I was isolated, not consulted for the reason known by them. But now I must come now here and explain the reason why I was excluded, whereas I started this.
Can I just ask the question differently? You are at national, and this is a provincial operation, am I correct?
That's correct.
Yes. How does it work? And maybe that would provide part of an explanation about your involvement and the limitations, if any, that you would have had because of your role. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think there may have been a suggestion, if I'm not mistaken, that your involvement was unusual. This is a provincial operation, and then you took an interest in this matter, so there might have been suspicion. I think that was a gist of the evidence about your involvement with this particular Swart matter. How does it work? You're national. How do you become involved? And I'm asking in terms of your own operating procedures and even just practice, everyday practice. How do you become involved with a provincial matter, and what are the boundaries? How far you get involved to a point where you say, this is permitted, but beyond this, I don't have any further role to play. And I ask the question with the hope that it provides an explanation for the limit, why you become involved at some point, and then you say, well, I left it to others. I gave them information, and they're supposed to run with it.
In the absence of a detective policy, we have national instructions, right? And hence we are having structures in SAPS. Starting from national, the structures, I think, are governed by the plan, the midterm plan by the National Commission, where it will decide you will need how many people to deal with what and the budget and so forth. So there is a national instruction called 12 of 2017. It calls detective policy. It indicates that on top, there is, under the detective, there is a DNC, and then there is a divisional commissioner who is accountable to the DNC. Then there is the deputy provincial commissioners who are accountable to the DIFCOM. And then under them, there is components head. And under the DIFCOM, there is components head responsible for their own investigation, myself, organized crime. But most of the time, I communicate with whom? With the provincial heads, being the
Hands off.
Ms. Sigels-Ncube, Mr. Mkize, has agreement been reached on what's going to happen?
Yes, Chair. We are going to play the recording of the call that witness A says is a call between himself and General Shibiri on the 16th of December 2024. But before we do that, Chair, it's just to give context to why the call is being played, the recording is being played, and then also to place a supplementary statement by witness A on record, because of course he's the one that provided us with the statement. If I can ask the commissioners to go to file 4, and it is CJC 101, page 93. General, if you could also go there and just switch on your microphones, please. It's file 4, CJC 101, page 93. Do you have it, General?
Yes, yes.
Chair, if I could just read it, but before I read it into the record, it's just to say that witness A had contacted us after he heard the evidence of General Shibiri denying the conversation, or witness A's version of the conversation that took place on the 16th of December 2024. And he requested that he submit a supplementary statement, and also that he would want to provide the recording of the call. And he has given in this statement an explanation for why he wants to do that and why now, if I could read that into the record. It says, I am a warrant officer currently serving in the South African Police Services and attached to the Gauteng Provincial Organised Crime Unit. On 19 October 2025, I submitted a witness statement to the Commission wherein I am identified as witness A, and on 20 and 21 October 2025, I gave evidence before the Commission regarding my involvement in the Swart murder and events that transpired during 2024 and 2025. One of the events that I dealt with was a telephone call that I had with Major General Richard Shibiri on 16 December 2024, as set out in paragraphs 93 to 97 of my first witness statement. As stated in my statement, when I received the call from General Shibiri, I was with witness B, and she overheard the conversation. What I did not mention in my statement or during my testimony before the Commission in October 2025 was that at some point during the telephone conversation with General Shibiri, witness B recorded the conversation using her cell phone. I had no intention of disclosing this recording publicly. The next heading, the recording. At the time of the call with General Shibiri, witness B and I were already in the safe house. We did not know who we could trust, and at this stage I was already unsure of General Shibiri's motives. The Commission will recall that I testified that I was still willing to give General Shibiri the benefit of the doubt. However, the arrest of Mr. Katiso Molefe on 6 December 2024 made us more suspicious of those who would inquire about the Swart murder case, and in particular, Mr. Molefe's arrest. When General Shibiri called, witness B and I had no intention of recording the call. The call started out casually, but at some point General Shibiri mentioned that he had been invited to General Sibiya's plot for a birthday celebration. At that moment, we decided to record the call. Witness B recorded the call on her cell phone. When the call with General Shibiri started, the phone was not on speaker. I had tried to increase the volume when witness B started recording, not realizing that the phone is not on speaker. Therefore, at the beginning of the recording, General Shibiri's voice is not as clear because the call is not on speaker. However, during the call, I realized that the phone was not on speaker and immediately put it on speaker, hence the difference in the audio. disclosure of the recording. As stated earlier, I had no intention of making the recording public. When I consulted with the Commission's evidence leaders in September and October 2025, I informed them of the recording but made it very clear that I did not want to disclose the recording in public, but that if it had to be brought to the attention of the Commissioners, it would have to be done in camera. My reluctance had nothing to do with disclosing the contents of the recording. This is evident from my first statement, where I deal with the contents of the call in some detail. It was more so my reluctance to disclose that we had recorded the call, but that the Commission must understand the situation that we found ourselves in, especially so soon after Mr. Molefe's arrest. Be that as it may, I did not think that General Shibiri would deny the contents of the call. I listened to General Shibiri's evidence on the 4th of March 2026, when he admitted that the call took place but denied my version of the call. Now that he has denied my version and effectively placed my credibility in doubt and that of witness B, I have no option but to disclose the recording publicly. I do so reluctantly, but I understand that it is important for the Commission's work. It is also important for my credibility and the evidence that I have already given to the Commission. It is for this reason that yesterday, 4 March 2026, after listening to General Shibiri's evidence, that I gave the Commission's evidence leaders permission to disclose the recording to General Shibiri and the Commissioners and to play it during the public hearing. I understand that the recording had previously been transcribed in Zulu and translated and transcribed in English at the instance of the Commission's evidence leaders in the event that I had to give evidence regarding the call. However, as indicated, my intention was always that it would be in camera, if at all. Conclusion. It is unfortunate that it has come to this point. My reluctance to disclose the recording publicly must not be seen as me being forced to disclose the recording. I do so willingly, although I would have preferred for General Shibiri not to dispute the contents of the call and avoid the need for disclosure. I trust that the contents of the supplementary witness statement and the recording of the call will be of assistance to the Commission. Signed on this, the 5th day of March, 2026. Thank you, Chair. With that being said, Chair, we will now play the recording, and if I could just advise Chair as well that we have provided the transcription, but we can deal with that once we've heard the recording.
Thank you, Ms. Sigels-Ncube. Mr. Mkhize.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commissioners. Now, I confirm the agreement that the audio can be played. Of course, there is only one name that will be redacted from it. Other than that, everything can be played.
Only one name will not be
Only
mentioned.
one name, Commissioner. Maybe just to put it in context, obviously my learned colleague will conduct...
Please pull the mic a bit closer.
Commissioner, I'm saying maybe, obviously, my learned colleague will conduct this part of the proceedings in whatever manner she needs. But maybe if she could just remind everyone, including the witnesses, to what it is that was allegedly disputed, so that we can contextualize everything and everyone understands exactly where we are. Because we take a somewhat different view about the impact and the contents of this particular statement.
Perhaps I think that's best left for after the clip has been played. I think, yeah.
Indeed, sure.
Yes. But I just want to make this observation, though. I know the general is human like all of us, and as such, he should be concerned with his personal safety. But this is the second general who is scared to mention the name or names of certain people. I find this, and I'm sure my co-commissioners share this, I find this quite concerning. The general is the head of organized crime in the country, and the other general is the head of IPID. I'm sorry, the DPCI, the Hawks, that's actually what I have in my head of KZN, and the Hawks or the DPCI exist also to fight organized crime. So it's quite concerning that people who head organized crime should be so fearful of people who are alleged to be or are said to be within the organized crime. It's quite concerning. So who will freely fight organized crime if people at that level are so fearful just to mention the names of people who are alleged to be players in that environment? It's quite concerning. But I do say what I said, or what I prefaced my concern with, which is, yes, the general is only human, and yes, the general should be fearful for his own safety, I would imagine. But that does not detract from the concern that I have. Who then is going to fight organized crime, and how? Perhaps I hope we will find a way of dealing with this subject as part of the investigation that we are dealing with or engaged in. And I see the general is smiling. I do not know whether that's because he wishes to say something, but I have expressed my concerns, and general, I mean it when I say perhaps, because it appears that you are indeed fearful. And the other general was also quite fearful, we could tell. I repeat that perhaps it's a subject that needs to be looked into, that needs to be seriously investigated. Ms. Sigals-Ncube?
Thank you, Chair.
Oh. Yeah, plus for the tips to recover fully. Yes. Kama general usebenza amadasi ngisakhumbula kahle. Yes.
But ukubona ngifaka amadlasi manje vice versa ngizobona ngidrive ngingafakanga amadlasi.
Oh yeah.
Kufanele ngifake ama-rigid glass. Hayi yinye indaba, but at least ngoba last thing bengiye eMpumalanga ngine-meeting. I was totally not okay because bengingaboni udark and ngihamba lapha kuSukuman's Drift lapha ngingaboni i-white lady ngithi hayi.
And akumele usidrivele ngaleso sikhathi.
Yeah, iyo lento iyenza ukuthi manje because ngoSeptember bangitshela ukuthi I must do this thing.
Yes.
But I was reluctant. And ngisaba.
Mm.
Then mawangitshela futhi bengaya kumunye professor bathi Professor Mayet lapha eGarden City.
Yes.
Uyaphethe nales St. John's yesebhara la.
Yeah, ngiyayibona.
Yeah, and uyaphethe ophthalmology yesivet. So ngaya kuye wangiyenza, but for now it's just smaller things laphana nalaphana kunephuma i-TS and then but
Chair, I've just paused it so that we can maybe try and follow on the transcript as well. You would have heard what witness A says, that the sound is not so great at the beginning of the audio. So that is CJC 98, Chair, and that is
Page
the
76.
page 76, and the English is the one just before that, CJC 97.
Thank you, Mr. Gilsmore.
They jumped in.
Chair, maybe we can just find your place before we started. I think it is just at the point where the general is speaking about the sunglasses. So that would be on 78. Sorry, General, if you could also just switch off your microphones, I believe it also has an impact.
Ubona manje, ngikhiphele inye the last one i-patch. Ngifaka ama-sunglass manje, but ngiyasaba ukuphumela ngaphandle ngoba the sun is very scarp.
Yeah. No, but kune hope ngoba ubona ama specialist angazi mangabe ngizokhuluma ngathi ama specialist ashapha. Yeah, no general ba ungifonela uKennel office late that week. Yeah, but ngamtshela ukuthi no ifamily yatshelwa ukuthi ususpect wethu kuphi. Plus ama lawyer futhi nawo sakhona ukwatshela the same night. Oh.
I'm sure they are five, they were five. They are having other companies together also, or mining rights together.
Oh yes. Yeah, because ngimo asho ukuthi une interest kwi mining.
Yeah, somewhere ku Rustenburg naseBrett.
Yeah, why mention a lot of line?
Yeah, there is this other guy, he's also staying in Sandton. He's a Zulu guy, the tall one.
Yes.
And then he's close to Malema. So Malema is close to Uspi. So that is how this thing goes, to say whatsoever. What. So, ngiyazi noma athi ngize lapho ufuna ukungibuza ukuthi ngithumile manje kwenzakalani whatsoever, so that naye ngiyazi ukuthi akayifuneli ukuthi ayise lapha ku-NASCOM.
Yes.
This other side. So sizothini is how we live, but as long as we are safe.
Yes.
So mina mengicabanga ukuthi maybe it's links to ama-taxi, but ngathi abantu kuma-taxi baphuma umuntu asele ayilaphana ayenza i-problem uJoe plus nalapho ma-extortions is there, these boys bakhe kubafanas and what. But ngizibuza to okay, so ngithi hayi general nginikeza isikhathi, I will give you feedback later, or else if you are in a hurry you can phone uKhumalo ukusendela i-report.
Yes.
But ngabona ukuthi ungathi ngikhulumi umphendule kabi ngathi nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, so ngibuyise ngibuye kancane ngoba ezinye izinto zisuka nami zingicasuka.
Yes.
That is why even the last thing angibiza ngathi crime intelligence ayenze whatever, because we cannot let this thing get to us in a manner which the people who are doing the work, they become vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah, so always umathi nathi sibusi kuya lapho nami bengishosholos ngigijimiswa lapha ngihamba ngema-TRP nema-WhatsApp.
Yeah, ngiyakhumbula le story awusitshela sona silapha eofisini lakho.
So it's not nice. I was in Pretoria about from 2013 to 2016 in a life.
Yes.
Yeah, but then that time abantwana bami they were young. At least manje bakhulile abanye bahlala lapho bahlala khona.
Yeah, sebe independent.
Yeah, manje babangakakhuli and then basahamba school awukho free now.
Yes.
And then nabo babuza ukuthi kwenzakalani, and but so some of the things doesn't make sense, and you don't even know how to explain to small ones.
Yeah, bona mabese bancane ngeke bakhona ukuzi-understand because bona bazi ukuthi ubaba must be around all the time.
All the time, and again, you see now, mawuphuma uya ngapha ufanele uhambe unebantu, mawuphuma uya ngapha ufanele uhambe unebantu, and mabaza lapha aphethe ibhamikulu, manje it becomes infringe ne-freedom yabo ne-whatever, but it is necessary, so akufanelanga niphele umoya niyeke. I think now you are no longer far from now with near trial and whatsoever. But even after that, you don't relax because these guys, abanye abantu they are so actually abanenkulunkulu.
Yes.
They still want revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why wathi umuntu ngeke umconfirm.
Yeah, you never. You don't relax. You don't relax because last time, it's just that I'm turned easy to. So and I don't follow up with it. They are not even working at province or whatsoever. Then it's indicating leaving Vimba, I'm not paying but I don't carry dog heads, so I don't know what the Lavan went whatsoever. And those people, they're not even working at the province. The matter is investigated at province. They are working at the district. What is happening? Amuntu umthembile uthi now this one is Buya Sonke Kaya, then uzokujikela for a small thing, so but others is just of fear, or because of fear, then who's out here?
Yes.
As far as abanye bamakwana, abanye strong, so yeah.
Yeah, no, kuyezwakala general, but I think uKenel Mkwena through Brigadier up until General Kumalo, they'll be able to back on we English because banalo ulwazi lokuthi what's going on.
Okay.
Yes, Nduna.
No.
Yes. But other than that, no, see good team and a team, see support.
Okay.
Yes.
No. It's fine. Money right is fine. But further information is I told you is fine.
Yes. No, engathi ungaphola ke urecover sharp.
I'm the grand, it's just that namanje ngivulile ngoba ngifuna ukufaka ama-drops.
Yes.
But yeah, the one which is done last week is more comfortable than the other one which I've done before because sometimes feel like something.
Yeah.
So
Chair, we've just stopped it there because then the general just speaks about his eye condition. We thought that's not relevant, but we will go then towards the end when the call comes to an end.
Yes.
And that trust and whatsoever.
And where are we now? Just where are we now? Transcript.
The English or?
No,
okay.
no.
It would be the last page on either one, Chair.
Oh. 8.6, thank you.
Yes. It's actually page 85 of the Zulu one.
Thank you.
Just go a bit. Okay.
That trust and whatsoever, because even if you are saying you want to vet people, it will take time to vet
everybody.
Yeah. Kuba i-process endenyana.
The only thing which is okay is when the people, they know each other, they understand each other, they trust each other, they can work together.
Yeah, it's easy for them to gel.
Yeah, they're able to protect each other because now it's not an easy thing. These people, they know they will be arrested, but they don't want to be arrested.
Yes. No, kunjalo nduna.
Lungile ne.
No, siyabonga man uphona.
Hayi ngizoba right.
All right.
So keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, General. Sure.
Thank you, Chair. General, so now that we've heard the recording, and I think you do have the transcriptions, correct? Okay.
That's correct.
Okay. I want to invite you, if you want to deal with the recording or whether you want me to go to the denials from the time when I had put the call to you. How do you want to deal with it? I think it's up to you how best you want to deal with it.
I'm not sure. Maybe you can lead.
Okay.
And then I will respond.
Okay, can we then, I indicated to you, of course, that what witness A says is that the recording starts when the conversation had already started, so it starts a bit late. I had asked you whether you denied that you had, that witness A said you told him you had been invited to the farm for General Sibiya's birthday celebration, and you said yes, you deny that. Do you recall that? I've got the transcription, if you want me to refer you to the...
I thought you were referring...
General, were you, or rather, did you read the transcript before the hearing?
Before?
The hearing.
The hearing.
Oh, by the way, it was given now.
No, it was given
Did you read this transcript? Did you read this transcript before the hearing, or before this week?
Yeah, I read the transcript. I think a day before. But
yes.
It was all about the questions which were asked, which were responding to here. Based on them, where there was some disagreement.
No, just the transcript starting from page 76, the one mainly in isiZulu with bits of English.
I read both.
You read both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And do you accept the correctness of the transcript?
Yeah, after listening, because without
Yes.
listening, then it would be something
Yes.
else.
Now that you've listened and at the same time you are looking at it, do you accept its correctness?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Ms.
Thank you, Chair.
Sigaznobe.
So, General, if you go to page 64 of that bundle, which is the English transcription.
Yes, I'm there.
You will recall that during your evidence in chief, I had asked you whether you denied that you had told witness A that you were invited to the farm to General Sibiya's birthday celebration for General Sibiya, and you said you deny it. Do you recall that?
Yes, I recall. I denied that I'm not going there because of certain things. But you see here, it indicates what I said. I couldn't go because of what. So I denied what you said that day.
Okay. I'm going to then refer you to the transcript of the proceedings when you gave your evidence in chief, so that I can just read out to you what was said. And I don't know if, should I send it to you? The transcript, so on page just for the record, 199 of the transcript of day 71. You'll just bear with us if you want to see it, General.
I assume it will be shown on screen.
So, General, let me just read it for you, but it will be flighted soon. So, I had asked you, we were dealing with the call, and I said, okay, so you deny that you had been invited to General, that you told him that you had been invited to General Sibiya's birthday celebration. You say, yes, I deny. And I say, all of that you deny? And you said, yeah. And then I said, during the call, General Shibiri told me, and then we dealt with what was said during the call. My first question to you was the issue about going to General Sibiya's birthday celebration. You say you deny that. Do you still deny that that is what you told witness A?
Yes, I told him that I'm invited to be at the farm. It was not a birthday celebration. It was Thanksgiving.
Okay, it's really irrelevant, but is the point not that General Sibiya's birthday is on the 16th of December, correct?
I don't know.
You want me to show you that it is on the 16th of December?
No, I don't know.
Okay, it is on the 16th of December.
Okay.
And this call was on the 16th of December, and at page 64 of the transcript, the first line, you say, he's investigating officer O, and then you say, yes, they said at 6 I must come there to him in the farm. No, but myself, let me sit down and nurse myself and stop going around. So you were supposed to be, that's what he said. You told him you were going to a birthday celebration for General Sibiya at the farm, and you had to be there at 6. Do you see that? It's just that the call starts later.
I was supposed to go there, but I didn't go because of ill health.
Yes, that's what you said initially, and then he said, but then he also said that if he goes there, you're going to be asked about Molefe.
Yeah, I was going to be asked about the feedback. Remember, I even indicated the call, it was about follow-up on the feedback because the day I phoned, on the 7th, I forgot to ask for what was he arrested.
Okay, so you now admit that one of the reasons, although the primary reason was your health, one of the reasons that you had told witness A you didn't want to go there was because General Sibiya was going to ask you for feedback about the Molefe case.
No, it wasn't the reason. The reason was my ill health. Hence, I phoned him to get more information because I knew on the 18th I was going back to work. Even though I'm not going, I was still going to be expected to give feedback one way or the other.
Okay, so that had nothing to do with it that you were going to go.
No.
And then, General, I also asked you, just before we get there, I just want to see if the transcript can play. So, General, if I understand what you're saying is that there was no reluctance. You didn't say to him that you were reluctant to go there because of having to report back.
No, I wanted the report back from him. I didn't go there because of ill health, because I didn't want dust to get into my eyes. It was still fresh from the operation.
Okay. Now, can we then deal with the next issue, which was what you had told him about Molefe, about Mr. Katiso Molefe?
Yeah, I indicated that on the 7th, I received a call to indicate that the family of Molefe is complaining about not knowing where was he detained. And I phoned around in Gauteng, started with Brigadier Nam and then Colonel Mkwena, and then Colonel Mkwena referred me to witness A. I phoned witness A. Witness A indicated to me they were with an attorney, just separated ways, and mentioned the name of attorney to be Tammy. And I ended it there and sent a feedback. But now, because I was, after I got a call for the invitation and I remembered that I'm going back to work, I said, okay, that feedback, that task I was tasked. I forgot one thing. I didn't ask what was this person arrested for. I wanted full information so that I give a full report. So that is what I indicated that day.
Okay, if you go to page 67 of that transcript, and I'm looking at from line 10, so 2 lines down from line 10.
Yes.
There you say, and then he is close to Malema, so Malema is close to Sabia, you see. So that is how this thing goes to say whatsoever, what. So I know even when he says I must come there, he wants to ask me, yes, I have sent you. So now what is happening whatsoever? So that himself, and I know that he is not looking for it to take to NASCOM. What were you referring to there?
Yeah, I was indicating that even though I was not going, but I know when I went there, the same feedback will be needed, will be asked.
Yes, and so it, according to witness A, that is how we understood it, that you didn't want to, one of the reasons you didn't want to go is because you were going to have to give feedback and you didn't want to give the feedback, and you were saying that General Sabia is not looking for feedback for the NASCOM, for the National Commissioner. And then in the next line, you say he is looking for it for this other side. Who is the other side?
Yeah, we indicated there is grouping
Yes.
in the police. So there is groupings, as we indicated at the beginning. Other group is him, other group is the others.
Right. So the other side is a grouping within the police force. Is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
You meant? You didn't mean that the other side is Mr. Molefe?
No.
So who in the police force would be the other side? Because we know there's the National Commissioner. So General Sabia can't be referring to the other side as himself. So which other side?
The other side is the police who are with him on the other side, and his own grouping.
Who are you referring to, General? I don't know, because you say the other side. The way witness A understood what you were saying is that you don't want this information for the National Commissioner, i.e. the police. You want it for the other side, being for Katiso Molefe. That's how he understood it. And I think that is how I understand it as well. You say you meant something else. So the other side cannot be General Sabia. You can't be referring to, General Sabia would want it for General Sabia's side. Who is the other side?
I prefer not to mention them.
No, General, you say, you see, something is being suggested. The witness believes that the other side is the Katiso Molefe people. That's what's being put to you. And if you say, I prefer not to answer, then that statement where the witness says, the other witness said, you were referring to the Molefe side, that becomes the last word on the topic. The whole point of this engagement with you is to give you the chance to explain yourself. You are the one that speaks of another side. And where someone else has said the other side is I think you said group of 5, where witness says it is the Molefe side. You are the one that said that. That's what the transcript is. You're the one that said the other
Yeah.
side. And you can't get away with saying, I prefer not to answer. And if you say you prefer not to answer as a witness of the commission in terms of the proclamation, you do, and the act, you do have an obligation to give an explanation. Why not?
Okay. As I indicated, as I was discussing informally with a colleague and further gave information relating after the arrest to say that is why they are behaving like this. Further, I discovered that he was working, he was business partners with Vusimuzi and the other 5 people. And that is what I was sharing with him, because I was knowing he's at the safe house. And now they have now consolidated, they can be able to follow whatever of the information. Yes, that one I indicated. That is why even when I was responding to the issue that I said General Sevilla is related, or not related as such, I can't remember the question here, is
Close.
have ties with Katiso Molefe. I indicated I don't know of that. What I know is he gave me tasks to say I must follow up to find out the detention status of Mr. Molefe because the family doesn't know. So all of this information I needed, it was to report back to say, yes, he was detained somewhere where, and then the family found him, the attorneys went there, and everything is fine, and he was arrested for discharge. So hence I phoned that day. So the other side, it might be I was saying I don't believe it was the NASCOM who phoned to find out or the complaint came to him. It might be coming from the family or other colleagues of his asking that. So I can't know who.
General, you say in this transcript, you don't say I believe, you say ngiyazi ukuthi akayifuneli ukuthi ayise lapha ku-NASCOM. So you say I know he doesn't want this information. Firstly, in fact, I think, let me read the beginning of that sentence, because I think it has a meaning other than what you are giving it, the first part of it. You say, so ngiyazi noma athi ngize lapho ufuna ukungibuza. So he's inviting me so that ufuna ukungibuza ukuthi ya ngikuthumile manje kwenzakalani whatsoever, so that naye and ngiyazi ukuthi akayifuneli ukuthi ayise lapha ku-NASCOM. So there are 2 things in this sentence. The one is, you say you know that he's inviting you so that he can ask you about what he sent you to go do. And then you say, but I know that he doesn't want this information for the National Commissioner. You know. And then the investigating officer says yes. You say family, you say uifunela this other side. Now, it can be the family because the investigating officer has already said, the family has been told, the lawyer rather has been told. That's part of your earlier conversation. So you're not talking about the family when you say the other side. And if you want to say it is the police, you have to say who in the police. And unnecessary as it may appear, I think you should be reminded that we are required to investigate infiltration of law enforcement by criminal syndicates. You have, this whole discussion speaks about, mentions Mswazi, Katiso Molefe, and others. So I don't think it's good enough, or it's going to be good enough for you to say, well, I don't know who's the other side. You're the one that speaks of the other side. You have to mention them. And if the commission has to go and interview them to find out what is their involvement, with what you're discussing, then the commission has to do that.
Yeah. Commissioners, I was phoned by the general to say he received a complaint that the family doesn't know where the suspect is being detained. And I must establish the detention status. So that is what led me to phoning. So, yeah, the other side, it might be the family of the arrested person. Because the information I got from him, he indicated that the family doesn't know where he is. I hear that the response from the investigator was that the lawyer was there. And even that day I indicated it is funny that they don't know whereas the lawyer is supposed to be briefed by them to go and look for the client unless otherwise other people send him. So I will think the other side is the family.
General, sorry, let me give Commissioner Baloyi the opportunity to finish her question. I'll come back.
Yeah, let me just complete this. General, you had already told him, reported to General Sibia, according to your evidence in chief. You first reported to General Sibia on the 7th of December, where you told him that, that the lawyers have been told. You gave him that report. In your evidence in chief, you said you made a subsequent inquiry because you were going back to work and you wanted more information about this because you expected that when you go back to work on the 17th, General Sibia will require a further report. So here you now know that the lawyer knows about this, where this person is. It cannot be that your other side, it is the family. I think let's discount that. It's not the family. In fact, you have already said the family or the police. As you sit there, you've said two different things. So let's not hang your head on the family. You've already said the family or the police, and I've said to you, no, and you say, I can't tell you who in the police. I don't want to disclose who in the police. So we are past the family. We are now where you say the police. And if that is your answer, you have to say who in the police. And if you stick with your response that I don't want to say it, you have to explain why not. You can't get away with, it can't be the end of the matter, you saying it's the police. Firstly, there's a dispute that it is the police. I also, in my reading of this, I don't accept that it is the police, the other side. But you insist it is the police. Let's go with your insistence. You insist. You say, I will not mention them. Maybe you do have a valid reason not to mention them. Maybe you do have a good reason why you are not mentioning them. But if you don't mention them, you have to give the reason.
Yeah,
Otherwise, we are going to conclude that you are not open and frank with us and you're not telling the truth because you don't give us an explanation why you won't disclose.
Yeah, I indicated the police because there is this thing that there is division, but I don't want to just mention a person because I think and I don't have reasons to believe that they have got interest in that or whatever. Hence I'm saying what I know for a fact is the family had interest. But yes, I know he's got police who are close to him, including myself. I'm quoted to be one who's close to him. But it was me who was supposed to report. So I said maybe the other side might be the police or the family. But for the police to say I can mention this, I will mention people who are working close with him, unnecessarily so mentioning them wrongfully for not this involvement or whatsoever.
Afternoon, General.
Afternoon, Commissioner.
Remember when you started testifying last week, Thursday, you took an oath. Do you remember that?
Yes,
And you said you will testify truthfully.
yes.
Yes. What frustrates me is that many times we've had witnesses taking oath before us, and then when it is their turn to give evidence, they play games with the commission. If there are safety issues, there are safety issues. We appreciate that. But you can't have a situation where 2 minutes earlier you say the other side is one faction of the police. And then when the same question is repeated, you say, oh, the other side is now the family. It means you are lying, because you can't have two different answers for the same question. It's either it's the police or it's the family. But that answer cannot change every minute or so. So I'm going to try this with you on the assumption that you have safety concerns and you don't want to mention people's names. Please go to page 66, the previous page from where we were. Are you there?
Yes.
Now, I want to take you back to the 16th of December 2024, because this reflects your state of mind and understanding of the facts on the date when the call was made. Do you see that from line 20?
Yes.
On page 4 of 12, it is page 66 of the bundle. You mention a group of people there.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, without mentioning their names, on page 67, when you said to witness A that you know that General Sibia is looking for this information for the other side, did you mean the people who are identified on page 66 from line 20? Is that the people you meant without mentioning their names? Yes or no?
I meant the family.
You meant the family?
Yes.
So you are sticking with the family?
Yes.
It is no longer his side of the SAPS faction?
No.
So when you said it was his side of the SAPS faction, you were lying to the commission?
I will take that.
No, I'm asking you, don't take anything. Were you lying to the commission when you said it is the one faction within SAPS? Were you lying to this commission?
No, I was thinking also about the faction, but I don't have facts to support that.
No. You said you read this transcript. Chair asked you, did you read the transcript? You said both the Zulu and the English version.
Yes.
And you knew you were going to be asked about this. So you came here prepared. When you were asked the question, who is the other side that is mentioned on page 67? When Advocate Ngube asked the question, you said it's the other faction within SAPS. 2 minutes later, Commissioner Baloyi asks you the same question, you say it's the family. That can only mean your first answer was not truthful. Was it not truthful?
When I said the faction?
Yes.
Yes.
So I must take it that you have lied to this commission and consequences should flow from that.
Yeah, let me concede like that.
Thank you.
So when you said that you wouldn't mention the people on this other side, did you mean it was the family you would not mention?
No, I was meaning on the side of the police.
Now, all of this, remember, was in the context of who this other side is. And you now say quite firmly that this other side is a family. So you can't talk about the police then. So my question is, when you said you wouldn't mention the people on this other side, did you mean it was the family that you wouldn't mention?
No, I meant the police.
What about the police? Because you've just categorically said now that this other side refers to the family. So The police have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that is what I've just considered the commissioner to say. I don't have facts to say the police might have interest except the general. So if I mention the people who are linked to him, I'll be just painting them for no apparent reason because I don't have facts. Hence, I turn back to say the people who complained actually was the family. So the other side is supposed to be the family.
No, General. It's one thing to say, what I meant by this other side are the police, but the problem is I am not in a position to list them. It's one thing to say that, but it's quite another to say what I meant was the police, but I'm now changing because I am not in a position to list the police. Those are two different things.
Yeah, I tried to indicate like that. And yes, I have to concede because it was not taken that I lied, and then I must face the consequences. So I chose that.
Just to make sure I understand you, so when you said this, what you meant was the other faction of the police, not the family. Your difficulty now is just that you cannot list the police who are on this other side, but you meant the police.
Commissioner, that is what I meant earlier on, but when I
When you said it, you meant
yeah, I meant
the other faction of the police.
of the police, but
Not the family.
when I couldn't,
Sorry, General, not the family.
yes,
Yes.
when I couldn't substantiate that, and I was going to
And you are referring to today. When you can't substantiate it today,
today, and
you
then
suddenly refer to the family.
I referred back because I was going to be held that I'm not wanting to answer correctly to the commission. So either that it was found that I lied, I accepted.
Ms. Sigels-Ncube, I'm left totally confused. Please continue.
Yes, Chair.
Can I just ask, General, if in this conversation, when you say ufunela this other side, if it is the family, why do you call them the other side? Why don't you just say the family? Because in fact, there would be nothing wrong if General Sibia was asking for the family to get this information. Why do you call them the other side, and why do you consider it an issue to a point where you mention to the investigating officer that I know when I go there, he's inviting me so he can ask me this? Why did you consider it a problem?
No, inviting, he used to invite, but the other side, as we were talking casually, and as I've just said to the commissioner, I was referring to his grouping. But now my difficulty is to indicate who at his grouping, and then I revert to say is the family, because the initial question, instruction was the family doesn't know where is the suspect, and I wanted more information to add to that to say he was arrested for this and that, because I forgot to ask that day.
Well, my question to you is, why do you refer to the family as the other side? The other side vis-a-vis who? When you say the other side, there are two sides to this. When you say the other side, so maybe let me reframe the question. Who is on the one side?
The police.
Okay, and who's on the other side?
It's the perpetrator's family and friends.
So where you say the other side, you mean perpetrator's family and friends. When you say he wants this for the other side, you mean that group. So you've identified the one side as the police, the second side, you say perpetrator's family and friends. I accept if you say that is the other side, and maybe I don't have any further questions. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. General, we're only on the first aspect of the call, so I want to also ask you about, while we're on that, you will recall that I had asked you, I had put it to you that, I had put it to you that according to witness A, you had said that you were concerned about about refusing General Sabia's request, and that you were worried about the response that you had given General Sabia in respect of a response. Do you recall that? If you go to page 68 of the transcript, and if we can just start from the third line, but I asked myself that, okay, so I said, no, General, give me time. I will give feedback later, or else if you are in a hurry, you can phone Kumalo to send you the report. Myself, no. And then he says, investigating officer says yes. Then you say, so, but now I saw that I responded to him in a bad way, you see. I said, Aish, yes, I am also here because of his issue. So let me come back a little bit because some things also make me angry, you see. And I had put it to you that according to witness A, he understood you to mean here that your response to General Sabia initially, that if he wants feedback in a hurry, he must call Kumalo, and I'm assuming that is Mbuso Kumalo, General Mbuso Kumalo, is that correct?
Yeah.
And for a report, because you weren't going to give a hurried report, and that you then said you were worried about the fact that you had given that response to General Sabia because he is the one that is responsible for your promotion. Do you recall that I had said that's what witness A had said?
Yes.
And you denied that?
Yes.
Now, can I ask you, what is it that what you meant here on page 68, when you say so, but now I saw that I responded to him in a bad way, you see. I said, Aish, yes, I am also here because of his issue. What were you referring to there?
The issue of investigation, the issue of organized crime, the issue that I will be phoned any given time, I will have to respond to him. So I'm reporting to him and the DIFCOM. So anytime when they phone you, you need to be, even though I was not feeling well, that is the reason why I said he must, if he's in a hurry, because now I'm struggling, he can phone General Kumalo as the head in Gauteng, will be able to give prompt response. But I felt bad that I didn't respond quietly in respectful way to my senior.
Okay, but then what does it mean when you say that I am also here because of his issue? I don't know if the English translation is a bad translation of the vernacular, or but what does that mean?
I just explained, I'm there.
What issue? What's the issue?
The issue is about investigation, that if I'm needed, I'm running component. And when the DIFCOM or the DNC phones me, I need to promptly respond. On leave or not on leave, we are used to be phoned like that.
Okay,
Well,
because
sorry, before you
the
move
vernacular translation is on page 80. Yes, go ahead.
Want to do that?
You can do
I suspect I'm better than you.
it. Far better.
Yes, General, at page 80, where you, in the Zulu transcript.
Page
80.
80.
This is the Zulu transcript. Oh, there is a Zulu transcript. So, you say at line 7, this is you speaking. You say, so manje ngoba ngabona ukuthi ungathi ngimuphendule kabi, uyabona? Full stop. Ngithi, ya, uyabona, nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe. Full stop. So ithi ngibuyise. Ngibuye kancane ngoba ezinye izinto zisuka nami zingiqasule, uyabona. So in the Zulu version, in the Zulu East version, you say after you told him that he should give you time, or if he's in a hurry, he should call Kumalo to get a report. You then had a rethink. You thought, you say, so manje ngabona ukuthi ungathi ngimphendule kabi. You thought, I've answered him badly or inappropriately. Ngathi uyabona, nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, so ithi ngibuyise. This is you saying, let me speak differently, let me deal with it differently because I think I answered him badly. Ngibuye kancane, that's what it means. Ngibuyise ngibuye kancane ngoba izinye izinto zisuke nami zingiqasule, uyabona. So in this version, in the Zulu version, you express regret in how you responded to him. You spoke badly, and then you thought, let me pull myself back, let me speak differently, or let me deal with it differently. Now that sentence where you say, because nami ngilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, what it reads like in context, it reads like, I am in the position that I hold now of head of crime, of head of organized crime. I'm in this position because of him. And there I am, I spoke badly to him, or I spoke disrespectfully to him. Let me pull back and speak and deal with it differently. That's what in context that line appears to be.
Yeah, as I indicated, I serve on his and the DIFCOM's behest.
Do what?
I serve as a component head on the behest of them, under the two. So I explained, for you to be promoted, there is a short listing of a post which is available. And then there is candidates. And in those candidates, they go for test and go for verbal interview. And I indicated here that, yes, he was the chairperson. And with him, there was the divisional commissioner, crime detection. And there was the provincial commissioner of Western Cape, General Patikir. There was the...
Please, General, don't give us the entire process.
There was also
please,
delegation from NPA.
Just a minute, General.
Yeah.
Please answer the question directly. When you say that nilapha ngoba ngendaba yakhe, I'm here because of him, the question by Commissioner Baloyi is, by that, do you mean you are now holding the position that you hold because of General Sibia?
No.
All right, what do you mean then?
I mean,
but can you please cut down on the entire promotion process?
Yeah, because I was responding to that because that is what was insinuated, trying to show that he cannot alone promote. And then there were there were panel members, including people from outside.
So the short answer is there was a thoroughgoing promotion process, and that is what put you where you are.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I said I serve on his behest.
General, you recall I had asked you earlier in your evidence, and just to give context, when you took the acting position of component head, that was General Sibia's position before he was promoted to DNC, correct?
Yes.
And General Sentimule had recommended you for the acting position, correct?
General Sentimule recommended and he approved.
Yes, but in your statement, you said the two of them approached you to take over that position because they didn't have someone because he had been promoted, General Sabia had been promoted to DNC.
Yes.
Okay, so in that context, he's recommended you together with General Sentimule, and it was his former position before he was promoted to DNC, correct?
I said he approved the recommendation by General Sintumule.
Thank you, General.
Yes.
Chair, I see that it's 5 o'clock. We are
How
definitely...
how much longer do you think you'll be? Because,
Chair, we...
yes.
Long, I must say. I thought that the call would be quick, but if the General is going to answer every question like this, we're going to be a while.
May we see council outside? Let's adjourn very briefly. Oh, General, we thought the long that Ms. Sigels-Ncube mentioned was not that long, but during the discussion outside, it turns out that it's actually very long. So we've decided to adjourn and resume at 9:30 tomorrow. Let's adjourn.
Thank you.